All right, welcome back, everybody, to another group stage match for the Touhou Project Mania Cup 4th edition. And for this match, we have quite a special one. We've got seed number 54, the Chen Enjoyers, versus seed number 37, Team CatTaiL. They're duking it out in the bracket stage. These seeds are pretty close with the way that group stage does work, so this should be quite an exciting one for us. And Chen Enjoyers, barely scraping by into that top 64, getting into the tournament itself, has a couple of pretty good points to them. I think that they are quite good when it comes to very late game maps, as well as some early game Rice. But where Team CatTaiL really shines is I think that they're a lot more well-rounded when it comes to things like long notes and hybrids, and that's what really garnered their 37th place seeding for them. So Team CatTaiL, expect them to be a little bit more well-rounded, maybe have a couple more picks in the pocket, whereas the Chen Enjoyers, I would really expect them to pick either the easier side of Rice, or if that doesn't work out, the harder Rice, as in the classic Rice 1 and 2 picks. But for now, let's just see what we get starting off this match. So gotten into the protects and the picks procedure, and we already see Z2A, one of the captain of the Chen Enjoyers, protecting Rice 2. That is as a carry no Yugi, the Jack map. Very much makes sense. Z2A, a very, very physical Rice player, and I believe Mystic is as well one of their teammates. Whereas for Team CatTaiL, really interesting pick. They're going to go ahead and protect Werewolf House, that classic LN1. So very much a harder side LN pick compared to Necrophantasia or Lucky Cat. Seems like they're going to test the Chen Enjoyers when it comes to harder long notes, and then maybe try to delve into either a hybrid or the easier long notes after that. But it is first to 4, very quick best of 7, so you cannot mess up at all in the group stage. And so bans coming out. Team CatTaiL gonna go ahead and ban Rice 3. Seeing that Chen Enjoyers wanting to go for some of these Rice maps, they don't feel too good about Maigo no Echo. More of a dump style, so a lot of the times those weirder snaps and interesting like stream patterns can be quite tough to act, and I think that the Chen Enjoyers really were looking forward to playing that map. Whereas right now, as they look to ban, I think it should be good bans if they want to go for LN1 or 2, or even if they were feeling it, I think classic hybrid is very, very tough. Water Lily being at a 1.15 rate, whereas in MW Seed in 2023, it was only 1.05, so very much a lot of these maps in the classic section are by far and away very hard. Just even Rice 1 in the classic section, Hanawa Genso, that was semi-finals in the last edition of Touhou Project Mania Cup, so very much a difficult map. So when you get towards that lower side of the map pool, it is extremely polarizing from the top half. But looks like Z2A is actually going to take my advice and ban Water Lily. Very much a good choice. I do think CatTaiL is really good when it comes to that mid-game LN/hybrid style map. So, protects and bans out of the way. We can go in. Oh, sorry. Couple more bans. Team CatTaiL does get a second ban, and I mean, banning Rice 3 was pretty good. I actually think to kind of go along with it, Rice 4 might also be good, because looking at the maps earlier, I think that Rice 4, which is made by Jane Remover, had a lot of very similar weirder snaps and patternings, similar to Maigo no Echo. But no, instead they're going to go for the straightforward pick, much like Rice 2. So Akabosi Rocket is going to be gone. No more jump stream from the map, and it kind of makes sense. It is 180 BPM, but very, very, I guess, straightforward and very simple. So they don't really want to take their chances when it comes to accuracy and consistency combined when it comes to Rice. Commentators getting their second ban in. Hard to tell what they are going to ban. I mean, Water Lily I do think was, again, a very good ban. However, a lot of the Allens and hybrids are still up for grabs, whereas not too many when it comes to the Rice picks in the upper half. We do have 66 Ando. I do think that the vocal dump style of map is pretty hard, especially when in tandem with the release Allens. However, really it's just kind of Team Red's choice at this point, whichever one they don't like the most, and it's gonna be Necrophantasia out of the system. Release maps really not for Team Red, it seems like, so they're gonna take that out. And finally, with both bans out of the way and also the protect, we can get into the first pick. And you see here there are only 4 Rice picks up for grabs for the Chen enjoyers, whereas for Team CatTaiL it's a bit of the same story. 2 LNs and 2 hybrids. So I mean, if things really do get down to the nitty gritty, it seems like Chen enjoyers being that Rice team, CatTaiL being that LN hybrid team, we could possibly see a tiebreaker in the works. It really just depends on how good Z2A, Air Mystic, and Alice Mari are at early game Rice. And I should also give the flowers to Team CatTaiL as well. On Team CatTaiL, we do have Sumiki Yuzu, UAQ, Lingju, Meiko Neko, and Frozen Moon, all very good players. And Z2A bringing out Rice 4 as the first pick, the tech pick of the pool. Chain remove for me by YuEast. Everything you see here on the upper half, the Rice LN hybrids, all custom made. So this one is by YuEast. And I mean, only 2 minutes and some change. And for a tech pick at 7.8 OD, it may be a little bit lower than what most people expect. However, it's still very hard to accurately hit notes on this beat map. This one featuring a lot of 1/5 or 1/8 streams, and also kind of transitioning out of it, you do have to hit a lot of anchored 1/3 jacks. So a lot of different timings on this map to deal with, and we're gonna have to see if Team Red or Team Blue is better when it comes to those kinds of patterns. And starting out, pretty interesting to see Alice Mari, but I guess Z2A isn't really for these types of maps, or really maybe early game Rice in general. Air Mystic doing their best to be alongside them when it comes to the accuracy. Sumiki Yuzu, Meiko Neko, the early game Rice players for Team CatTaiL, not having the best of times. I've seen a lot of 200s come out from Sumiki Yuzu, and even for Meiko Neko at a 99.5, you're probably looking at a couple of raids as well as a miss when it came to that anchored jack outro. So Team CatTaiL already in trouble here with that first pick. Chen enjoys 20,000 points of a lead and still gaining as Meiko Neko tries to get up to that combo cap. Yeah, halfway through the map, and it really seems like Meiko Neko and Sumiki Yuzu are really struggling when it comes to those quicker 1/8 sections. There are a couple of one-handed drills that happen, and they're pretty tough to deal with, so I don't really blame them for that, but it's not going well for them as they finally hit 30,000 points of a deficit. And really, at this point in the match, multiple misses need to happen from either Mari or Mystic, or even both, and even then I'm not even sure that's gonna save them. Pretty light section in here right now as we finally get into that last Ki, and very light jump streams, a couple of jacks very sparse in between, and we finally get back into those grittier one-handed trills, and Mako Neko actually missing yet again. So I mean, I really do think that this map is over. There's nothing for Team CatTaiL to really claw back, and the Chen and YuEast are just going to enjoy a 50,000 point lead and take their first point. Mari and Mystic doing really well when it comes to accuracy. Mystic hitting a 995 as well as Mari almost with a 996, so very impressive scores for the group stage. V1SS from Mari, 2 grades from Mystic, and Team CatTaiL have some thinking to do when it comes to these early game Rice picks. I'm not sure that they really do have it in them. And Mako Neko taking 4 misses. I think the play was pretty clean overall. It's just the accuracy was not there. 3-1 MA is not what you want, especially in group stage when it comes to Rice picks. The Frozen Moon immediately coming in to the player slots. They're gonna go ahead and pick Hybrid 1. That is Hatanaki, and we're gonna have to see how Team CatTaiL punches back on hybrid maps. I think another question to consider for Team CatTaiL is how well do they really do on some of these more Rice intensive hybrids as well. Thankfully, I feel like this one is pretty focused on LNs. However, once you start whittling down that pool and things get closer and closer, if you have to pick into things like 66 Ondo, or even honestly Werewolf House is pretty physical as a pick, and there's some pretty nasty Rice parts in there, it could be pretty tough to see some of these players on Team CatTaiL, and especially with that performance on Rice 4, it really begs the question, can they hang when it comes to any presence of Rice in your LN or hybrid picks? But with the sub out for Frozen Moon, a new face emerges, and Sumiki Yuzu saying goodbye to us. Seems like Chen and YuEast are gonna stay with that same composition, Mari and Mystic. I'm not sure at what point in the tournament Z2A is really activated. I'd imagine that somewhere at least before quarterfinals or something like that, but hope to see them in an earlier pick, because honestly, things that they've done for the USA 4DM team was quite astonishing. They've really held down some great scores all around. So map starting off, a couple of 300s from Frozen Moon, just really getting the nerves out of the way, it seems like. And this map featuring a lot of more direct patterning, unlike Rice 4. It's very straightforward jump stream, as you can see, and some pretty straightforward density patterns as well. And it seems like Chen and YuEast doing really well. Very big accuracy difference from both Mari and Mystic to their respective counterparts, and it seems like Frozen Moon and Mako Neko gonna have to wish for a couple of misses if they want to get back this lead. Couple of jacks thrown here and there with the addition of some long notes held down, and a couple of slower inverse on the columns, big anchors, and it seems like everyone does just fine on those patterns. Mako Neko taking a lot of early 200s, whereas Frozen Moon has a lot of later 200s, especially when it comes to releases, it seems. So kind of two sides of the same coin here, whereas Mari and Mystic both aiming to get above 990s. They are very comfortable on this map. Bancho is trying to fake us out, but Alice Mari still holding on to that full combo, and pretty impressive to see a 20,000 point difference with all 4 players still full combo. You don't really see that too often, as really it's just up to that accuracy. Neko just struggling. They can hit the patterns, but they can't hit on beat. A lot of early hits from them, and then when it comes to long notes, it's just you see that taken even more and it's just like more to another level when it comes to their uneasiness on these patterns. Just with a very impressive 99.85. That's about a 10-to-1 ratio. And as I say that, they drop a couple of points in accuracy. Mari doing well to fend off anyone. Still up above Frozen Moon and Mako Neko when it comes to accuracy. And really, I do think this map is done and dusted. Chen and YuEast is really surprising us here with this early game accuracy, as they beat Team CatTaiL with both the Rice pick and the hybrid pick. And Mari actually taking a miss, but it's not gonna matter much. Really unfortunate miss to an otherwise clean score, but thankfully they built up enough of a lead where that didn't matter. You see there, 1 slider break, 1 miss from Mari. 2 greats on the side of Mystic, and I think that was all the way back closer to the halfway point of the map. And I mean, you have 2 FCs on the side of Team CatTaiL. It's just the accuracy really is not there. Mako Neko almost 1-to-1 MA. You don't see that too often. 1.6 actually to 1 with 40 greats along with it. Frozen Moon 20 greats essentially, and 980 and 960 are just not going to be enough for the both of them. So with that breakpoint in motion, the Chen and YuEast are really just eating good. They're looking to take this match in possibly a clean sweep if they can pull off 1 more breakpoint and hold their own on this next pick. But the question really is just, what is their next pick? I do think that with the Protect Rice 2 being up, it's probably a good idea to go for it. And they do, firing off the immediate pick. I mean, it seems like Team CatTaiL kind of struggling when it comes to more physical portions of Rice maps. So this map, I think, is really, really tricky. Even for a group stage pick, the variable density in these jacks is pretty mean, and especially at 128 BPM, the jack picks in this tournament start off really fast, in my opinion, and I think a lot of players can struggle quite a bit, especially if you're not really a jack player. Thankfully for the Chen and YuEast, though, you have Z2A and Aramystic. I know Aramystic is very much good at jacks, but it seems like they might actually be fielding Mari instead. As for the side of Team CatTaiL, Sumikizu going to come back in, trading out with Frozen Moon. And Team CatTaiL really do need to get back this breakpoint. Map starting off, and it should be really pointed out that there is not a lot of time on this map. If you make 1 mistake, that might just be deuces for the map itself. Clocking in at 1 minute and 38 seconds. This map has pretty much no breaks at all. It's just full send it, and Mari Bancho miss getting us yet again. It seems like both players on the Chen and YuEast doing just fine. Both above a 99.9 and immaculate MA coming from both of them. Whereas Sumiki Yuzu, Meiko Neko still trying to catch up in terms of accuracy. We're halfway through the map now, and there's 7,000 points. There's not a lot of objects on this map either, so what's gonna need to happen is either Mario or Z2A are gonna need to chain miss on a map like this, and there are a couple of weirder note anchors, some of them being 3-note anchors, that could probably mess you up, but it really does seem like Team Red is just so comfortable on maps like this. And yet another Bancho miss trying to fake us out. A real miss coming from Team CatTaiL. That is very unfortunate. You don't want that to happen at all. And also Meiko Neko going down, so no more FCs on the side of Team Blue. Whereas Chen and YuEast are really just running away with it. Map is ending off. Sumiki Yuzu taking yet another miss to add insult to injury. And as the map finishes off, Mari and Z2A with very clean finishes. 997 coming from Mari, and Z2A hitting that mid 998. So Chen and YuEast, they're at the point now. They're at match point. They don't have the pick. It is up to Team Blue, but they see the light. They see their way out of the group stage at this point. And Sumiki is saying that one of their teammates is sleeping. I think that's QAQ Lingju. Unfortunately, I did assume that was probably the case. And I mean, Team CatTaiL racking their brains. What could be their next pick? Because again, this is potentially their last pick. They still have Werewolf Howls up for grabs. They do have their Protect, but they also have Lucky Cat and 66 Ondo. And yes, they are going for the classic LN pick, Werewolf Howls. This is a very old one from Lemon Guy. I think dates back to like 2021. So I mean, in Mania terms, or in, I guess, Osu tournament terms, this is like 100 years ago. Yeah, this is gonna be the L Infinite difficulty. Again, another short map, kind of like Rice 2 that was just picked, but it is long notes instead of Rice, and I mean, this is very much a long note pick of all time. Pretty excited to see it pulled here because this is kind of a classic. I guess technically really fits in with the name of it being the classic LN pick. Some guys, Werewolf Houses. There's a lot of, I guess, weirder patternings. Lemon Guy just kind of has that way with long notes when they have LN maps, and as we try to sync up Bancho, you'll get to see a couple of them in a second. Very staggered releases, and then the inverse as well to start off. And Mari struggling quite a bit. Actually, technically, everyone really did take a lot of damage when it comes to accuracy. A lot of 300s, some early, some late. But nonetheless, I think right now it's still quite a close game. Everyone's still holding on to their full combos, and you see a lot of these shorter LN patterns. It's really hard. It's not, I wouldn't really call it dumpy style. It's very straightforward snappings, but it's just so hard to do when all four columns you are just constantly hitting very quickly and then releasing. And then you have some of these anchors like that where they're essentially just 1/4 long notes. And I think the only one out of all four of them that is really succeeding when it comes to accuracy is Era Mystic with 99.5. Mari doing their best to fend off Meiko Neko and Frozen Moon, still above both of them, but anything can really change with a couple of misses. We go into one of the faster sections, and Mari actually misses, so That lead's going to be cut down by quite a bit as they try to get back up to the combo cap. A couple more of those anchored double holds. And see here, everyone's doing just fine when it comes to these speedier sections. Some of this coordination, though, can be quite deadly. And a lot of weirder releases coming in. Everyone doing fine. A lot of late releases from all four of them. But Frozen Moon is taken down at the end of the map. No comeback allowed from Team CatTaiL. The Chen enjoyers going to enjoy a 4-0 victory against the higher seeded team. This was seed 54 versus seed 37, so quite an upset, quite a surprise. I had my doubts at the start, but I mean, Mari and Mystic really showing that they can hack a lot of these early game maps, and G2A as well when it comes to Jack. So good games and well played to Chen Endures and Team CatTaiL. That was quite an exciting one. I bet a lot of people didn't really expect this one to happen, and I mean, yeah, that was just a very well played game. So winner gonna be the Chen Endures, Z2A, Mystic, and Mari. Game's not over for Team CatTaiL yet. Remember, this is the group stage, so still more matches to come next week for them. Let's take a good look at the schedule because I know we have a lot more matches coming up, especially in a couple hours. Or maybe, I'm not sure if we do have the schedule screen ready. If we don't, then that is fine. I guess we see here. There should be a couple of matches coming up very, very soon. So with that one done and over with, I think we have a lot more coming in around 14 and 15 UTC especially. And then, let's see here. Yeah, there is a lot more matches in about 4 or 5 hours, so make sure you tune into those because I think a lot of the higher seeded teams, top seeded teams are duking it out in groups right now. So again, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this match. Many more to come for this, and group stage is not over. So, I mean, make sure to watch these teams next week as Chen Enjoy is really a surprising victory for them. And I guess as we close out now, again, just once more, congrats to Chen Enjoyers, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.